Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the earth signs Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and their twin flame connection. Twins, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Twins, I hope that you're doing well. If you're here as a cross watcher, welcome. Sorry. Already having some issue with my throat chakra, so I don't know, maybe some people here are feeling a little hesitant about the reading today. I feel compelled actually to say to you that whenever I read tarot, or whatever I'm about to say in this reading that is channeled from spirit, it's not going to be anything that shocks you. I think maybe the only thing that would shock you is the fact that you might relate to it. Ultimately, you know what your heart is feeling, you know what your heart is wanting, desiring, and thinking, and I am merely a conduit to bring some of that to the surface, if it is a reading that is meant for you. So I wanted to say that right off the bat. I don't think I've ever said that in the beginning of a reading ever, on this channel. So yeah, so if you're here as a cross watcher, welcome. If you are here and you're not sure what a twin flame connection is or the twin flame journey, I've included the link to Gabi Kovalenko's full-length explanation in the description box below. She does such a brilliant job of describing the intricacies of it. In a nutshell, the twin flame journey describes two people who share the same energetic soul or the same oversoul. So two people who are full individuals, who are kind of born of the same spark, as it were. This can be a really intense and harrowing journey when the two people meet each other in the same lifetime. Sometimes twins are not incarnated in the same lifetime. When they are and they meet each other, or they have a feeling of each other, or they visit each other in the energetic, the astral realm, the connection is intense and undeniable, and really it can be trying. And if you have met your twin in this lifetime and you are now in separation, usually there is a runner-chaser dynamic. One person runs, one person chases, and sometimes those polarities can flip. The whole point of the separation is to discover who you are as a person unto yourself, what your spiritual gifts are, what your triggers and traumas are, and how you can heal through those things, to have a Kundalini awakening, to blow open all the chakras within you and really figure out what it is that you're here to do, and then do those things. And ultimately, it's about you. It's not about your twin. Some people take the journey, some people abandon the journey, but you can never break the cord with your twin. I have tried. But I am now in union with my twin flame after 5 years of no contact. And even now, being in union with him, it's still a learning process, and the learning process never goes away. So I'm going to use two decks for your reading today. The What We've Forgotten Oracle deck for the base spread, and the Unveiled Tarot for the tarot portion of your reading. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for the earth signs Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and their twin flame connection. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the earth signs, please? 4 cards flipped out. It's amazing. Perfectly. It's beautiful. Now for the tarot, for the clarifiers. It's for the earth signs. So the first two cards that I'm going to show you will represent your energy. The second two will represent your twin. The third set will represent the connection. And the fourth set will represent the advice from spirit. Feel free to switch the energy between you and your twin, as twins often mirror one another. If you are in separation but still in contact with your twin, you might discover that similar things seem to happen, that you see similar signs and synchronicities. It's crazy. I don't know if I'll ever tell the story one day. I would have to ask my twin if he's okay with it, but the things that I discovered when I got back into union with my twin, all the things that we had missed out on in the past 5 years, and the synchronicities are, it's like everything that you read about actually happened. So I understand if you don't want to take the journey and you just want to figure out how to extricate yourself from a certain aspect of it and work on yourself. But if you do decide to take the journey, it also can be rewarding. It's rewarding either way, especially if you discover what your gifts are. That's the most rewarding thing you could ever do for yourself. So your energy, we start with number 13, which corresponds to the Death card of the Major Arcana, Scorpio energy. The Death card in the Major Arcana talks about endings bringing new beginnings, that we understand that there's a cycle that has to come to an end. In some cases, you can kind of see it happening as it's happening. A lot of times we can't. Like, we're in the middle of the chapter and we can't rise above it or have distance enough from it to see it. But for some reason, I feel as though you can see some ending coming. Now, that ending might be with a job, with a dynamic, a relationship dynamic, a friendship dynamic, a cycle of repeat. Because I'm also seeing the Devil energy, the Devil card. The Devil card is not on the table right now, but I feel it. I feel as though you're overcoming it. Like, you're recognizing a pattern that needs to come to a close and you're doing something about it. The whole point is to do something about it, not just to sit here and lament about it. We're acting, we're moving past. And the card is Power Place, which actually reminds me of Power Plant. Something that is conductive. This is really striking. Well, I'm being drawn to the fact that there are 3 triangles or 3 pyramids. That feels relevant. Perhaps to describe the many instances of 3 triangles or 3 pyramids around the world. The most famous, I guess, is Giza, but there's so many, right? And now they're showing me what the pyramids align to, which is the constellation Orion, right? Orion's belt. That's what the pyramids align to. Yeah, there's something about that. Maybe you and your twin have some kind of inside connection to the Orion constellation. Maybe you've talked about it. Maybe you saw it together. They're also showing me, you know, there used to be a film company, like a production company, I believe, back in the 80s, I think, called Orion Films. So that's very specific, so I feel like it's relevant to somebody. Maybe you and your twin watched a film from the 80s that was distributed by that film house. That feels very relevant. I don't know. I've never gotten that as a reference. Orion Films. I'm saying Orion, and now I'm saying the name Ryan. Maybe your name is Ryan, or your twin's name is Ryan. That can also be a female name as well. But power place, it's kind of like, where are we channeling our energy from? That is what Spirit is bringing forth right now. It's kind of like you're getting organized about how you expend your own energy, how you're directing it. So you could be very focused at this time on a life goal, your gifts, really finding a way to express those gifts. It's interesting though, because it was clarified by the Four of Cups. Sometimes the Four of Cups, well, here we can see like this, I feel as though there's like, well, so this deck always has this little window of, you know, into another world. But if we're looking at this world right here, it's very busy. Looks like people are traveling. It's either a metro or a subway or an airport or a train station, whatever. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. And it's almost like you want to find respite, find relief from the hustle and bustle, so that there's this place of calm. Cups cards are Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The cups are the suit of emotions. Like really being in a position to receive these feelings, receive these emotions. But traditionally, the Four of Cups represents this period of our lives where we feel a little apathetic, we feel a little bored, right? And we long for something else. So, you know, perhaps it's like you've been working very diligently and maybe you haven't seen the results that you were hoping for. So you're kind of wondering, you know, should I go along this path? Should I continue? Because it's taking, I feel like it's called power place, but I feel like it's expending a lot of energy. Spirit is showing me, you know, I don't know a lot about this, but Spirit is showing me the image of it. Like all of the power that it takes to generate the AI component. Like, I don't know if many of you know this. I mean, I'm assuming that you do. I didn't know it until a younger person pointed it out to me, that when you generate anything with AI, it's extrapolating from everywhere, every piece of information that has ever been recorded, right? It takes a tremendous amount of resources, like natural resources, man-made resources to do that. So a lot of electricity, a lot of power. And thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. It's almost like there can be a bone of contention with that, like in the pursuit of trying to make things faster and trying to make knowledge more accessible and to kind of skip to the end, which I feel is like what a lot of AI is all about. What's the cost? What is the environmental cost? What is the moral cost? And I'm not answering that. I'm just bringing it up because Spirit is bringing it up. But it's not anybody else's energy. It's your energy that's being expended right now. So, and also, you know, it's almost like I see you building, right? You're building from smaller to larger. But then we get to the top here, and there's this kind of golden light energy. And it's almost like you're trying to supersede it. You're trying to break through that layer, but you can't. And for some reason, I feel like this area right here is where the twin flame journey lies. It's like golden energy that you can't, it's like you can't seem to I mean, maybe part of you wants to overtake it and to just wash it out with everything that you're trying to build. right? But in a sense, it's like you're barely keeping afloat. It's strange. It's like I almost want to cut this piece out and put it here. And if let's say I could do that, right? Let's say I could cut this little piece out, the head here, and put it in this space. Then it would seem like this was a water line that was inching closer and closer and closer. And if we weren't careful, it could overtake us. So basically what I'm feeling from this energy is that it's like we're trying to outrun the journey. We're trying to, instead of working with the journey, the twin flame journey, to achieve our goals, we're trying to outrun it or kind of glaze over it, wash it out, dilute it somehow. But look at how golden it is. So in practical terms, what does this look like? Because okay, I can give you an example because Spirit wants me to give you an example. You know, like I've since told my twin this too, and it's there's not a day goes by. There is not, since I met my twin flame, which was many years ago. It was like 9 years ago. There hasn't been a time where I didn't think about him, or he wasn't somewhere in my consciousness. In whatever respect, something would remind me of him, or his head or his face would flash into my mind, or I'd see his name somewhere, and his name is quite unique, so it's like weird to see his name flash somewhere, or something would remind me of him, a song, whatever. There's never been a day in 9 years, even when I was dating other people, there's never been a day in 9 years where I did not think about my twin, which sounds insane, but I tried to not think about him. I tried to busy myself with other things. And it was only until I understood the twin flame journey and understood that what he represented was the shadow aspects of me, and I represented the shadow aspects of him. It was only until I understood that we are here to not only trigger one another, but to help each other grow. That even in kind of a spiritual sense, an energetic sense, when I started to incorporate him as a partner, even if we weren't talking, even if he's not in my physical presence, he's always my partner. And when I think about him as my partner, it's almost like, well, I have somebody right here, right beside me, energetically, that is rooting for me, that wants to see me succeed, that wants to see me grow, that wants me to expand my gifts, that wants me to heal. And so that's kind of what Spirit is bringing to my mind right now. When because in the Four of Cups, there's kind of a lack of recognition. And when there becomes a recognition of how you can, I don't want to say it like use, but how you can use the journey to benefit you in a positive spiritual way, then the sky is the limit. Then you can traverse this golden age and beyond. Why did I say golden age? This golden age. Maybe this is your time. I'm gonna get a clarifier. Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So essentially this is telling me, because the Eight of Pentacles talks about, it can talk about investment, a workplace scenario where we invest the majority of our time, effort, energy, and resources. So you've been working hard, and I knew you were working hard. I could tell all of this focus, right? I knew you've been working hard. What may elude you at this time is this sense of the new beginning. When is the new beginning starting? Because you got this card in reverse. The aces bring new from Spirit, and this is like the hand of Spirit just saying, hey, earth signs, here you go. What I do want to point out though is that They want me to say, don't wait for the new beginning to be somewhere out there. Assume that the new beginning has already started. You're inside of the new beginning. You can make the decision for it to be a new beginning. That feels very important. And where you got number 13, your twin got number 14, which corresponds to the Temperance card of the Major Arcana, Sagittarius energy. Card that talks about patience, balance, alchemization, shadow work. See? I mean, and look at this push and pull. It's kind of beautiful. It's kind of a dance. Your twin, and some twins are not aware of each other, right? Like my twin did not know he was my twin until a few weeks ago. Like he knew I was his twin, but he didn't have the name for it. He knew we had a spiritual connection, but he didn't know the name. I feel as though your twin understands what your spiritual connection is, because even though there's this kind of back and forth, this dance between you, it feels equal. That's interesting. Let me show you. See how I was really focused on like this difference between this blue area and this gold area, and now we have blue and gold here. Remember when I was saying, like in the intro, like it's amazing sometimes how the synchronicities between you and your twin can manifest? This is one of them. Right? So it's kind of like reaching for something but not quite sure what it is. Your twin is working on their shadow. They might be in a hermiting period where they're just trying to make sense of what this dance looks like for them. What steps are required for them to enact in order to have some movement forward. It's very strange though, because I feel as though you may see them as this area up here, but they see you as this area up here. This area of like, I'm reaching out, but I can't quite grasp. I can't quite reach. You know, I just see this kind of like a wedding scenario, right? We're at a wedding reception and the DJ is playing the music, and here you see two, I'm just using an example. You see two single people like in separate corners of the room, just dancing by themselves and maybe looking a little funny, a little foolish, but fully in their autonomy, just having a good time. I feel like I want to say your twin is making the most of something. They're making the most of their circumstances, but they're trying to remain open. 7 of Wands in reverse. The wand suit is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And the 7 of Wands, you know, talks about this battle that we fought and won. But it's almost like the higher we achieve and the more we attain in life, the more we have to tend to it, the more responsibility it becomes. Sometimes we have to defend it and defend our choices and defend our actions. And this is a card of defensiveness and sometimes blocking. But the card came out in reverse for your twin, representing to me that they're starting to open up. They might have been closed off before, but they're starting to open up. Open up to themselves, open up to you, to the journey. Ask for a clarifier. Knight of Cups in reverse, and yet they are not necessarily in the position to offer anything. Knight of Cups in the upright, we can see this knight. It's kind of a funny image. The knights in the tarot are like messengers. They're doers. And the Knight of Cups is somebody who brings an authentic gesture of love or friendship. So when the card is in reverse, it's like we want to, we wish we could, but we're not in the position to give right now. Still learning the dance moves, still learning our role, our place, but open. For the connection, number 19, which corresponds to the Sun card, best card in the tarot, abundance, clarity, illumination. And yet the card says crossroads. Crossroads. So I'm immediately drawn to all of the gold adornment that this Rocky Raccoon has on his chest. When I see this kind of necklace, this kind of, it feels tribal. And when I think of tribal, I think of, not even tribal, it could be military, right? You see when people in the military, they have their stripes, their stars and their stripes, and their insignia and their representations of rank. This is kind of representative of accomplishment between the both of you. Both of you, I feel, are very accomplished in something. But the crossroads suggests that you're at this point where you're unsure of each other and the journey itself. You're unsure of how you want to proceed. To which I would say, just take it one day at a time. Which when I said one day at a time, there used to be a show in the 80s called One Day at a Time. I don't know if I'm speaking to some Gen Xers like myself, because I'm getting I'm getting flashbacks to the 80s. So if you're a Gen Xer, you would probably remember, and you grew up in the United States, you would remember the show One Day at a Time. It was very popular. It was like Friends. It was very, very popular. That show, I honestly don't remember what the show was about. It was a long time ago. I want to say that show was it about orphans? An orphanage? Don't quote me on that. I can't remember, but that might be relevant for somebody. So I see this as like, we've accomplished so much. We're standing very strong. We're looking directly ahead. But the answers aren't all there yet. They're becoming clearer and clearer each day. And it's clarified by number 17, which is really beautiful, the star. I remember when I was talking about coordinates and constellations? Well, here they are, right? The star is Aquarius energy in the major arcana, and it talks about wish fulfillment and healing. This depiction shows some satellites, but even in the window there, it's like Galileo's time, looking up at the night sky, trying to map the sky, trying to understand it. I feel as though this transmission is happening in the energetic realms between you and your twin. Where do we go from here? But there is healing that is happening, and I believe that it's happening on both sides, which is good. You want your twin to heal themselves, even if it means without you. Because the more you heal yourself, the more they heal themselves. It just benefits the vibration of the connection. And more abundance can flow in, more good things. May I a clarifier, please? Just one card for the crossroads. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, see? I mean, you know, it's funny because I said, and the abundance rolls in, and then we get the Queen of Pentacles. Look at her adornment. It's interesting. This is like a lot of regalia, a lot of ornate costuming, And then here, very, very buttoned up, very conservative. So that could be something between you and your twin. Maybe one of you is very out there, funky, kind of larger than life, and one of you could be very conservative, quiet, like introverted, extroverted dynamic. Queen of Pentacles is a really beautiful card. It talks about abundance, generosity, beauty, somebody who possesses these qualities, right? It's almost as if what are we trying to heal, and what are we trying to embrace? Our divine feminine, our Queen of Pentacles energy, trying to embrace our abundance and embrace our gifts and what we have to offer the world. I'm noticing how like kind of tall and upright this character is. So feels like there's a little bit of pride, but like in a good way. Pride in a good way, self-confident way. All the yellow here, reminding me of the solar plexus, the confidence center. Advice from Spirit, number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Good luck, good fortune, divine timing. The word is medicine. That's beautiful. It's clarified here by the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be a card of trickery. You can see here he's taking an oath, but he has his fingers crossed. So sometimes I see the Seven of Swords as a card of procrastination, and you did get it in the upright. It traditionally represents an energy where we're trying to be strategic about something and gain the upper hand. But sometimes when I see the Seven of Swords, it's kind of like we're balking, we're stalling, we're procrastinating. Medicine could relate to your health. Maybe there's something health-wise that you should be focusing on. This is advice from Spirit. And I kind of see that because Spirit is kind of saying, don't delay, don't neglect your health. Don't neglect things that can serve you. And, you know, without health is wealth. Health is the number one thing. Forget your twin flame for a second. You don't have your health, you have nothing. We know this. So Spirit is saying it could just be sleep, which is difficult. It's difficult for people to get just like a good night's sleep. That could be it. It's just like stop delaying the inevitable. Turn off your phone at 10 o'clock and go to bed. Spirit's really hearkening on that. And don't say, yeah, Spirit, I'm going to do it, and then have your fingers crossed. Like, actually do it. Spirit's really giving that to me. How can you go out and do work like this? Because it's expending a lot of your energy. So you need to recoup that energy. So that's your reading, Earth signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, twins.